So in the UK, Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, has been allegedly covering up these grooming gangs. He claims that he doesn't know anything about them. Do I have that? Yeah, here in this clip, it's him being interviewed, and he's acts like he doesn't know what these grooming gangs are.
Question last week, and you found every which way but not to answer it. Just how many grooming gangs have we got in London?
To avoid any misunderstanding, can she define what she means by that?
Yes. If you look at what's gone on in Rotherham.
What's a grooming gang? I've never heard this term before. He's the mayor of London. And somehow us regular people out here know what grooming gangs are, and this guy doesn't, even though they're right there in his backyard. I mean, how stupid does he think everybody is? And this is what I'm saying. This is the lies that these people can get away with, because they just lie, because the end justifies the means. So if they have to lie, if they have to deny, if it's under oath or whatever, and he's got it doubly bad because he's both liberal and he's both a leftist and he's a Muslim. Both groups of which say you can lie to further your ends. The truth doesn't matter. What matters is the accomplishment of the end goal. So he just blatantly lies when all of us know that he's lying, because we've seen the videos, we've seen the reports, we've seen there's been people who've been reporting on this for years,
where there are people taking young girls, grooming them for sex. That is what I'm talking about.
We know there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
See, this is a game that people play, not just lefties or everybody plays these games. What he's doing here is like, oh, well, you have to have the exact, perfect, precise definition lined out, and if it's not every single word is the word that I think of, then I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what grooming gangs are because the definition has to be word for word the definition that you have for grooming gangs. It's a way of not answering, and it's a way of dismissing, and it's a way of deflecting, and it's a way of being dishonest and being a weasel. And that's what this guy is.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford, and lots of other places in the country?
Just for your misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
Today, I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening?
Yeah.
It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
Right. Exactly. And he just acts like he does. He is so clueless. I don't know what she's talking about. What are those things? What is sex? What is a gang? What is a grooming? What is, playing dumb? And now it's coming out that this jackass is being allegedly has covered up for these gangs, and that should surprise nobody, because only that's the answer you would give if you're covering up for them. You don't want them to be exposed. It's just more lefties loving crime. And in his case, it's mixed up with Islam, and he doesn't want the community to get a bad reputation, because then people might stop wanting to let him in here, and then that would affect the takeover. So even if he has to lie about grooming gangs, he can do that because it protects the Muslim community and it allows them to grow stronger. Never mind that there's victims out there whose lives have been shattered, who've had the most heinous and horrific things happen to them. I mean, there's story after story after story. I was reading one this morning where I think it was like this 12-year-old girl. They locked her in a cage. They abused her sexually daily, and then eventually killed her and threw her away. I mean, that's what these people do. It's disgusting. And Sadiq Khan just, nope, that doesn't happen. Don't know what you're talking about. These people are immoral monsters. They have to be removed. What are you doing, UK? Get rid of these people. So anyway, here's the allegations that he covered up these gangs.
We've been talking about this for a very long time. In fact, we were speaking about this issue on this show just a matter of weeks ago. And the Daily Express front page today has just landed on my lap. The Mayor, Sadiq Khan of London, of course, accused over grooming gangs cover-up in the capital. Sadiq Khan has been accused of covering up evidence of grooming gangs in London after an Express investigation. I'm going to try and dig into this front page as much as possible. But, of course, we did a report on this only a few weeks ago, looking at an investigator and a former Met police detective had spoken out and said that, along the line of these things, Adam, it doesn't surprise me that there are grooming gangs in London. And of course, we don't know if this is true. We can't accuse him of covering anything else. We don't know for sure. But this evidence would suggest what the Daily Express are suggesting Sadiq Khan
anyone
has.
that didn't think there was grooming gangs in London when there's 9 million people living in London and the demographic is very much foreign-born and different cultures, you know, it's obvious that we have a grooming gang problem in our capital. That man wouldn't answer any questions on that when Susan Hall put it to him in City Hall. I think he's the most untrustworthy and I think he's the most unpopular politician, apart from Keir Starmer, in this country. He's hated by everyone that I know. And it would not surprise me, again, this is an accusation, it's not proven, but of course we've got grooming gangs in London. That's just a fact.
So, Sebastian, this is you're a councillor in.
Somehow this guy's more informed than the mayor of the city, right? So this guy, of course, we know that there are. We've seen the reports. We've been talking about this for years. And Khan just sits up there, acts like he doesn't have the slightest clue about what anybody's talking about, right? And he said this, and these gangs. This guy here, he was gentle about it. We have demographics, people from other countries or whatever he said. No, it's basically Muslims. It's just Muslims doing this, and most of them are from Afghanistan. You know, so it's not like it's this vague, mysterious thing, and that just somehow because immigrants, then you get more of this. This is a very specific thing, a very specific group of people with a very specific ideology, with a very specific view of how they see women. You know, it's not North American people who are coming in here and doing that. It's not people from Ireland. It's not people from Italy. It's not Chinese people. It's a very specific group of people. And they don't want to admit that because that would be meanie. Because the truth is mean. But that's just the facts. These are Muslims. Most of them are from Afghanistan. Afghanistan has a bunch of fucked up things they do to kids. So it's not surprising that they would come to your country and do the same things.
London, whereabouts are you? Westminster? Waltham Forest, thank you. Sorry, beg your pardon for Great Westminster there, beg your pardon. Of course, the mayor was going to seriously deny these claims, but we have seen him in, GLA meetings where he's refused to sort of answer this question. He's actually played a little bit with Susan Hall. I mean, we've all seen the clip where he goes, we'll define what that means. And do you think he's been deliberately evasive ever before on this issue?
I'm afraid I haven't seen the clip, so I can't in good faith give you a response to that. What I will say, though, is that I think we have a problem with sexual violence in general, violence against women and girls. And I have seen Sadiq Khan take that incredibly seriously across the board. I think we have to be careful not to make it into a race issue when we don't have to, and make sure that we are doing the right things to keep women safe. London is a city of 9 million people, as Adam says. Of course, you are going to get attacks. That is really unfortunate. And it is on all of us, whether we are elected officials, whether we are community leaders, or otherwise, to be taking that incredibly, incredibly seriously.
Chloe?
So what we're hearing on the inside of the Express is that Sadiq Khan saw reports about girls being raped by gangs in hotel rooms and then went on to deny that any of this was happening. That's what they're saying in the Express. If that is the case, that is absolutely shocking. And I know, Sebastian, you said we don't need to bring in race if it's not necessary. But what we need to look at here is, if he has covered something up, what was the reason for it? Was it because he's scared of being called racist? And if that is the case, then it is relevant for us to have that discussion. Absolutely.
Go on.
Let's also remember that like Rotherham and the northern cities that had the grooming gang problem were covered up because of the race of the people involved. Let's not brush that under the carpet.
Even Keir Starmer said it. Even Keir Starmer.
Councillors to social workers to MPs brushed this under the carpet and wanted it to go away because it was a Pakistani community problem. Yeah. So let's not say that we haven't got that problem in London as well, because we definitely have.
I certainly agree with you, and I think we actually got to stop being so sensitive to people's feelings and being offended, because we have allowed issues like that to fester. And I think that's I talked about Tony Blair earlier on the show. I think that's one of the hang-ups of his time in office, as then the Tories perpetuated it, I have to say, is where we didn't have honest conversations in Britain about what was going on here, because we wanted to protect a whole group of people who are minority groups, and we wanted to have diverse Britain. Well, it's backfiring massively. Do you think this could bring down Sadiq Khan?
Yeah. So the standard failure of liberal lefty policy. So we can't actually be honest and talk about it because there might be hurt feelings from some group, even though it's such crazy nonsense. They're worried about, a minority group getting a bad reputation. And so they have to protect all those people. Meanwhile, there's little girls out there getting raped. But that's not as important as the feelings of the minority group. And more so, how the majority group feels about themselves, about the minority group. That's really what this is about. I need to feel like a good person by protecting these groups. It doesn't make them apparently feel like a good person protecting that girl whose life is destroyed. This is the backwards mentality of these people have. They think that some hurt feelings by some minorities is a bigger crime than a girl getting raped. And so they don't want to talk about it. We don't want to go there. We don't want to actually solve the problem, because if we solve the problem, we might have to do something that's uncomfortable. We might make some people uncomfortable. Yeah, you fucking pussies. That's what you have to do? Then do it. Save these kids. Instead, they sacrifice these kids on the altar of political correctness. And they wonder why the country's in an uproar and hates their guts. It's pretty simple. But these same politicians who let these girls' lives get destroyed, they think they're the good guys. Because they won't call out the perpetrators. They won't mention that they're Muslims. They won't mention where they're from. And that makes them good people. Not good because they're actually solving any problems or protecting anybody, but good because they, on their bingo card of what makes you a moral person, they've checked all those boxes according to their lefty nonsense. It's disgusting. Thank God it's changing in the UK, and they're getting these batshit crazy lefties out of office. I mean, this guy, Basil's exactly right. I don't know that there's a headline that sums it up as well as this. Egyptian illegal migrant 42 who rapes woman in Hyde Park while living in the Hilton Hotel is a convicted Islamic terrorist. Yeah, sure. Come on in. We're not even going to check. We don't even care. We just know that you're brown, and that it makes us a good person to let you into our country, right? This is all the This is how moronic this line of thinking is. So now, so that they can feel like they are good, tolerant, all loving people, they let a woman get raped. And they still end up being, and then they're still the good person. You know, or any number of these headlines where they talk about, where's that one? Oh, maybe I didn't save it. Basically, it says three British men accused of raping women or whatever, and it ended up being it wasn't three British men, it's three Muslims, but they didn't mention their names. They refused to talk about it. That's the kind of dishonesty people are fed up with. Just be honest. Who is it? What's their name? Why do they? We have a problem with this community. Okay, we got to deal with that problem. You can't solve the problem unless you get detailed about it. But they don't even want to go there. They don't want to have those conversations. You know, they don't. You know, and it doesn't matter. There could be thousands of rapes by the exact same group of people, and zero by every other group, and they would still say, "Well, we can't talk about it. We can't do it. We can't talk about it. That would be really meany of us and intolerant." Well, yeah. So, are you actually interested in the safety of your citizens or not? No, they're not. They're interested in getting their political stickers on their paper. It's pathetic. I mean, just look at the way that these people think.
Go jump on the treadmill. I'm just happy to email my panel some paper and say what these people act like. That's all. Go. I don't care. Please. You insult my prophet. You insult my prophet. You insult my prophet. Go execute it. You are executed. You get this when you execute the prophet. And I don't take that. I don't apologize for that. You're disgracing the honor of our prophet. You get this. Shut your bliss ass jump.
Yeah. Right? We want people like this in our societies. Stay in the Middle East. You know, with this kind of 6th century logic. You say something I don't like about my religion, you die. There's no room for that in the West. And then they're loading up on these people. But things are changing, you know, like this. This is a Le Pen rally in France. Look at all those people. France has had enough. They're fed up. Rightly so. Their leaders failed them. Macron's a moron. Oh, good for them. Good for them. Keep it up. Oh, this is the story I was talking about. 3 men charged with raping woman at Popular Beach. Well, it turns out their names are all this and Abdullah this. Now, to the surprise of no one. The UK has now become the rape capital of Europe. Did you know that? Yeah. Good job, Starmer. Such a great legacy you're leaving. Not just him, but, you know, the last 20 years of leadership over there. Fucking disaster.